So Joe, I want to thank you for coming in today. It's really hard to have people who have completed TMS, to have them come in and talk about their experience. But you really had a desire, you had a passion to come in and talk about TMS. Why is that?
Because I really didn't understand what was going on in the beginning of what was wrong. And when you explained TMS to me, I was kind of like eerie. I'm like, they're going to put this thing on my brain. Like, what's it going to do? So I did a bunch of research for a good period of time. I think you told me that you're getting the machine like a year before I even did it. And I wanted to do something different in my life. And I had to change my ways and the way that I was feeling, because I was just sleeping all the time. So I wanted to try the machine out and give it a shot. And the reason that I'm here today is to help other people and get them to aware that it doesn't hurt. It's a great procedure where it's going to change your life. You're gonna feel totally different.
And you have a big interest in helping other people, right?
I do.
That's one of the big reasons you said you came in today.
It is. I have a huge interest in that. I think a lot of people have this stigma that mental illness is this thing where people are crazy and they're lunatics and they're violent and they're drug addicts or whatever the case might be. And I don't think they really understand that most people struggle with anxiety, bipolar, depression, and all these issues. And having this machine where you can change your life and not be able to sometimes not have any more medicine and not feel the way that you were feeling in all those depressing states. I think a lot of people really need to know that normal people do have this and that you can change it.
Yeah. So normal people is the key, right?
Yes.
So normal people have problems. And in looking back over your life, your depression has had a huge impact going way back.
Way back, yeah.
Like what has your history?
Starting in high
depression
school,
been?
like starting even in middle school, my depression would be that I would do really, really well in school. And then I'd do really bad in school. And then and that would start my whole life, financially. When I first started real estate, I'm a real estate broker. I work for Keller Williams in the Capital District, right in Broadway in downtown Saratoga. And I would make a tremendous high six figures. And then some years I'd make very, very, very low six figures, sometimes not even in the six-figure bracket, because I would struggle with the depression. And it took a huge toll on my life, and I just never knew what it was. I think the first thing is identifying what your issues are and being able to see that and then be able to have somebody like yourself be able to correct it. And I think a lot of people just hide it and they're ashamed of it and they are scared. They think people are going to judge them.
So when you would get depressed, you would go from functioning at a very high level and, selling and doing everything you needed to, and then you would get paralyzed and you couldn't do anything. What was that like for you? What was your self-talk? Were you thinking to yourself, I've got depression, or were you thinking something?
I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just tired. Honestly, my cycle was, I was always a late sleeper. So I always liked my sleep, but it started getting so late in the day where it would be 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'd get up, go do a couple things for work, maybe go on an appointment. And then by 4 or 5 o'clock at night, I'm exhausted again. I mean, like so tired, like I just stayed up for 24 hours straight and be so exhausted where I couldn't even physically keep my eyes open, come home, fall back asleep, maybe until 9 o'clock at night, wake back up. I was up until 6 o'clock in the morning watching TV, and then it would start, and then I would sleep till 2 o'clock in the afternoon again.
Right. So with depression, it would impact your productivity, your energy level, your
Didn't want to do anything.
Your concentration, your motivation, all the classic signs of depression.
Yep.
And you didn't initially identify this is depression. You just thought, I'm tired, I'm being lazy,
Yep.
right? And people would tell you to just
They would tell me to go work out, go to the gym, come out, let's do this, let's do that. And I just didn't want to do anything. It just got to the point where I was just, even if I wanted to do it, I was just so tired.
You couldn't.
I couldn't. I physically couldn't.
Where you can't.
Yeah, I physically couldn't do it. And even if I was up, there was no motivation. Right. Like I had a huge drive, like very, very I've always sold more real estate pretty much than most realtors in the Capital District. I was always in the top 1%. I won multi-million-dollar awards. I've sold over $20 million worth of real estate in 97 houses in 1 year. Like, I'm very successful at my job, where then I would see that, okay, I just didn't care. I didn't care. It didn't affect me. And thank God that I had a good job where I could ride myself through it because I had so much money coming in. But a lot of people don't have that. Right. That's how, you see the people on last night at Broadway. I was walking up the street from dinner and you see a homeless guy sitting there on the ground. And he's sleeping. So he probably has depression issues. It's not funny, but it's the point that people there's such a stigma about it.
There's a stigma, and like you said, oftentimes you don't know, and you can be very, very successful.
Yes. I know a lot of actresses and movie producers and people that are very famous have it. So when you decided to have TMS, how nervous were you about starting TMS? Very nervous, extremely nervous. I'm like, they're putting this thing on my brain and they're going to shock it. And then I think one of the side effects is that, you might have a seizure during the thing, which is like very low. It never happened to me, but it's just, that's like what the most major side effect that you can have. And I think that is triggered by if you have too much alcohol, too much caffeine, if you had too much tobacco, those type of things. So then I was, I think that's the only bad thing that could happen, So with that low of a risk, and then, watching what I was ingesting during before and after the treatments, it was fine. It really was. It didn't hurt. It just felt like somebody was just vibrating your brain a little bit. It was like, and like kind of maybe just like tapping on it if you had a helmet on, and then tapping on the helmet. And it would just kind of feel like just like a little vibration, and it wasn't bad at all. It didn't hurt. I think my major thing in some people, is that you get a little bit of tooth pain sometimes. It'll run down the nerve of your tooth, and that was my major thing. But then when you tilted the helmet, it went right away. So that was the major thing. Being completely 1,000% honest, that was the only side effect, was just having that. And that was only during the treatment that would happen. Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation techs that we have, the TMS techs, they're very good. Yes. At helping you
Lily
to adjust,
to make sure that you're comfortable.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. Yeah. She was very, very good.
So the day-to-day was tolerable and not uncomfortable, but you had to come in every single day. And like, how long do you think it took before you started to see improvement?
Mine was a little bit different because I think I was self-paid. So we did the burst first, which was 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
We started with the theta burst, which is a 3-minute protocol.
Yep. And then I wasn't seeing as much improvement, which I didn't give up. I talked to you. I came to you. I told you how I was feeling, and you fixed it. You say, hey, Joe, we need to switch this up a little bit. Sometimes this happens with people, and it's totally normal. And you switched it to 20-minute sessions. I would say within 2 weeks after the 20-minute sessions, I really saw improvement.
And you've gotten back to yourself?
I'm back to myself, yes. I am. Good. I'm very prominent in real estate again, and we're selling some houses.
You're selling what you can, right?
Yes. The market's a little slow right now, but I sell new construction, so it's a little bit easier. But.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Any other?
I would just tell people to not be scared of saying, oh, I have to go to a mental health doctor and I have depression. And first of all, nobody needs to know. It's between you and them. The second thing is that it's going to change your life. It's honestly going to change your life. And I recommend it. Highly recommend doing it.
Well, I am incredibly grateful for your willingness to come in and identify yourself as someone who's had struggles and to help us to educate.
Yes,
people.
I'm glad that I was able to do that for other people. It's something that people need to know about.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you for having me.